Hello, Saab. Coming for you. Yada bing, bada boom, bada boom. In the meantime, I'm going to fix some stuff on the Saab. Absurd. It's got a leaking heater hose. The silicone has been worn through where the clamp is. So I'm going to try and fix that now. I don't have the right fitting. We're going to cut one from an old fitting.
A few moments later.
So yes, we're shying away a little bit from the Lux for a moment. We've been starting to try and get the Saab back on track. This was leaking coolant from this end. It doesn't look split, but these clamps have, I think, pretty much broken the integrity of the silicone. So I'm going to put the original one that came with the car back on for now. Then we've got another one down the bottom here that was split. It's literally shaped like that. I'm thinking I might even use that. Let's have a look. So that's the piece that was split, well, removed. No, look, I'll leave it for now and have that as a spare corner I can use on something, because I can always cut that section out if I need to. Save that. I've got a piece down there. I'll screw that up now. All right, so I'm about to put this on, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, where are we? But there's coolant in the thread, so as the thread's been wound on, it's probably pulled the silicone through. It's leaking through the grooves here and the screw from the silicone under pressure. Oh shit! I thought that pipe would fit, but it's a struggle. Struggle when you can't fucking see anything either. All right, let's change our tactic here. Fuck. All right, I've taken the whole T-piece out, and it was tough, and I don't want to break this, but I've managed to get this on. I think the other one was too short as well, and it was pulling back here, and under pressure it wasn't holding. Put that one on. They're not the greatest clips, I can tell you, clamps. We'll do that one up. All right, I'm not going to go too tight because I don't want to cut the hose. It's on. It's a battle. All right, I've put everything back together. We are putting in, trickling some water, and I'm going to start it up and try and get any air out of that. You can hear that tapping. That's the leaky exhaust. That's the next thing on the to-do list. I'm going to take everything off to fix it. Didn't lose a lot when I took that off, so to top this up, I don't have a bleeder, but I'm going to just keep squeezing the hose here. As the thermostat opens up, it's already dropping. Alright, Savaruni Absurd is up to temperature. Everything seems fine. Idle beautiful. Check engine light is gone because I did forget the other day. I didn't tell anybody. I've had a check engine light, keeps coming on every couple of months. And we've had a bad connector to the coil pack, and the plugs were old. We couldn't replace the plugs because we didn't have another connector. So I had to go to the wreckers and get a connector, and then we had to pin it out on Saturday. We got that done. We had to take a whole bunch of stuff. I'll show you. We had to take a whole bunch of stuff off the car. So you have to take all this off. That's your intake pipe through to your throttle body. And all of these vacuum lines had to come off. Anyway, we got it all fixed. It doesn't look great. We did a compression test, and we've got 180 in every cylinder bar the last one, or number one, sorry. That read at 160, barely. So we're a little low on compression on this one, and there is a noise on cold start. So we're not overly happy. Corey thinks it could be something to do with a burnt valve. So we're not sure. We're still going to put a bigger tune in it. That's what we're trying to do on Saturday. But my injectors didn't have the right adapters, so I couldn't put the 1000cc injectors in it from Injector Dynamics. So we got it all done, and we took it for a drive. It seemed okay, and then on the way home, I got a check engine light immediately. It wasn't months, it was immediately. What I'd forgotten to do was put this boost pressure connector on. Where is it? There. So I've now deleted it again, taken the battery off. Everything's on, so hopefully we will not get another check engine light, because if we're putting the bigger tune in it, we don't want issues. I'm going to see how that copes, the 160 piston with the upgraded tune. This has been running a base map tune for 3 years, so it's actually burnt. We think it's been running too lean. It's not fueled up enough, so we're going to use Corey's tune off his car, download it onto this one, and then if it copes, we might look at upgrading to like a 500 horsepower eventually, maybe, if it survives, tune. Originally, when I had the first, that's staged, that's totally custom, but when I first did the first build, and that's when I met Corey, we reckon that was running about 380 to 400 horsepower on the first build. Carl, who does the tunes in the UK from Noob Tune, he reckons it should have been easily pulling that, so maybe it had a little bit more. Anyway, so that's up to scratch for now, for today. Oh, I may have to do the windows, the electric windows, the rollers break on the Saabs quite a bit, they're plastic. So I've got 3 sets of those to fix. So if I get time in between everything today, I'll do that. All right, I've shifted the Nugget around and we've got it ready to go to start working on the floor pan. I want it to be on this side, so I've got access to the open garage. But again, I'm just pausing on that. I'm actually putting it off. It's hard to explain. I just don't feel like I can tackle it yet. I'm not in the headspace for it. I have gone and ordered another $300 or $400 worth of paint and clear to finish the body. And I've bought the proper base coat that I'm going to actually try and mix and spray the tub with instead of the rattle cans. Using the same paint mob to try and make sure the colors keep in match. I don't want anything to look funny. In the meantime, let's go and have a look. I'm currently working on the Saab still. Remember, I'm trying to get the Saab up to scratch. I've got a couple of things to do today on it. Firstly, I'm pulling the bonnet wrap off. It's had a bonnet wrap on there for about 5 years and it's just starting to turn to shite. The reason why I put the bonnet wrap on is this reason here. My son, on his first day on his learners, we went out to a place called Bow Desert, sort of country town out of Brisbane, and we hit a kangaroo at about 100. The old Saab here did very well. It impacted here, and broke the headlight. I had no paint at the time, so I've patched it up so it looked relatively okay, and that's why I put the wrap over it to hide it, because I didn't want to paint the whole bonnet. But the wrap's pretty much gone now. I'm over that. Looks ugly, so we're going to take it back down, wrap off today. I didn't just do this wrap removal. Look at the school car. We have taken all the school logos off it. I'm thinking about just leaving the yellow on for now, so that's been stripped. I did that yesterday. Many hours of standing in the sun peeling it off. So today we're moving on to the Saab to do the same thing. As I said, we're going to take that off and then we're going to do the electric windows. The problem with wrap is it looks great at first, but when they get old, they get brittle. They are a prick to get off. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. So see how that just breaks? It's so brittle. The trick is to use heat. If you go back a few videos to my Volvo, my other school car, I've done a bit of a video there of me taking the wrap off, so go and check that out, but it's quite simple. Try and heal up a little bit and we get the whole panel nice and warm. I don't know if you can see it on the camera there. It's also gone like, it's been sitting in the rain and the sun and for years. It just looks all mouldy. It looks completely damaged. And it's ugly, so we get rid of it. I'll try and paint this corner temporarily. This stuff can what I call delaminate it as well. The sticky part will pull away from the colour. So you end up with sticky stuff left on the bonnet.
Two hours later.
You can see what I was talking about before, about the delamination. So it's just literally so brittle. So where all of this like mouldy, weathered area is where I'm having the most trouble. So that's where the sticky part has come away from the top part of the vinyl. So when you're peeling it, the sticky stuff's staying on the bottom because it's so deteriorated. I'm going to go really slow here. And the funny thing is you can still reactivate this stuff with heat. So if you're not careful, that's stuck back on there again. So even though it looks crap, the heat will activate the glue and it'll re-stick, so you've got to be really careful with that. So I'm guessing the rest of this is going to be very similar to that. Once I've got it off, then I'll have to use some soapy water firstly to try and take a bit of the tackiness out of it. Then I'll use isopropylene alcohol just to wipe over it. Just using some suds, I'm going to wash over. That's actually helping. You can see the glue shriveling up in places. Yeah, that's good. I don't recommend vinyl wraps. Just rinse a bit of that off now. That seems to have... I keep rubbing that actually. Don't wrap your cars, people. Trust me. You've got to at least change it every 2 to 3 years. This has been on for too long, obviously, but it's expensive. Now imagine if you wrap the whole car, it's three grand. And then every 2 years, you've got to do 3 years, you've got to do this. My fingers are so sore from doing it all day yesterday. Again, we'll let that sit. So what I'm thinking of doing is I've got some of that Kill Rust black I used on the truck. I tell you, you're not going to notice the difference. Cool, I'm going to do that. Now let's try with some isopropylene, and if that doesn't work, 5000 grit sandpaper. Oh my god, this is going to take forever. Wonder why my hands and wrists are sore every week too. I'm having a rub down just like you, mate, in your last video. Alright, you get the idea. I'm going to keep going and finish it off. Did I remind you, don't put vinyl wrap on your car? Unless you want to do this, if you don't want to pay to update it all the time. Ew. Hashi!
I'll just cough that up.
Eventually.
Oh, I'm weeing everywhere. And I've got boogies everywhere. That is finally done. It's good. Didn't realise. I remember now seeing it. They've got a dent in the bonnet there, as well as this one. I'm going to clean this up. Then we'll try and work on the window rollers for the electric windows. The windows break a lot here. The electric windows, because the rollers break. The rollers are these things. These little green things. And they get brittle and break, so then the windows don't work correctly. I've got a set of 4 here, and I've got 2 other spare ones. That'll do 3 windows. The windows have not been working. Corey took the frame off for me because he knew how it came off more than I did. Anyway, that's off. And now I need to take the door panel off. There's a couple of screws, one here, I think, and one behind here. Loosen those off. We're going to disconnect a wire for a light. Then hopefully we can lower this down and fix those 2 little rollers. Door card is off. Okay, I'm going to get this down just enough. There we go. No wonder why it didn't work. Fucking hell. That's supposed to have a round plastic thing attached to it, and it's broken off down in here somewhere. So I can't even get the window up unless I've got to manually do it. And that's happened on 3 of the windows. And now my daughter's Saab as well. See if we can get that up, prop it up with something, and replace this and the one on this side. So we pop that like a little lug, there it is, onto there. And then I've got to put, you turd. This is meant to be over here to support the window going up and down. I had to force that one off, so see how it's all broken? And it collapses and then the other one fell out. So let's get this back into a position where we're inside the window frame here. Oh, yeah, easy, mate. 20-minute job, eh? I'm going to slide it into the rail. Well, it's in. There we go. Got the roller in here. See these grooves? Roller slides in those. It's on. Just have to get in the right position. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, that out of the way. No. Why is that falling off there? For some reason. For some reason it's falling out here and falling forward and coming out of the slot. So let's see if we can fix it again. It comes off. Yeah, it's off here too. Oh, can't get it right, hang on, stop. The rollers kept rolling off because it wasn't seating up in here correctly and it was pushing the window that way. It's just enough to knock them off those rollers. You could see the frame you could see here before. Now, I'm not sure this thing here is to stop this rattling when the window's half down. So I think it goes on, okay. So this here slides into a groove in there. It slides into that sucker. And I'd say I would have glue on it too. So let's try and do that. Now, from having a bit of trouble, I actually hit record before. I hit record but didn't record. I've had a bit of trouble getting this to fit because over the years it has swollen and it came out difficultly and it doesn't want to go back in. So I've had to do a bit of trimming. It's still not going to go in. This bloody thing. Come on, there you go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. That's all in, thank God for that. Screw, tack, all of the bits, and that window should be done. There we go. So that has been an adventure. You think after doing cars for all my life, you know everything. You don't. That's the beauty of learning. Dunskies. I've been thinking about changing the channel name. I think it's a little off-putting for people to think that I'm flipping cars all the time when really I'm doing projects, and I am flipping them, but the projects take 6 to 12 months and it can become, I guess, a little inaccurate in the description of the channel. I've just been toying it up a little bit because I do many things. Obviously, I can do stuff on the i30N, that's not a flip. I've got the MX3, that isn't a flip either. It's a project for the daughter. We've got the Hilux, which is a flip. If you ever watch a YouTube channel called The Late Break Show, I think he's done a pretty clever thing. He's just called it The Late Break Show. He has different playlists or categories, I guess. One is, you know, man cave stuff, people's collections. Others are people at home, their stuff, and then he does EV stuff. So he's got like different playlist categories. Maybe I could do something like that. It's not always about flipping, is it? You know, if people tune in to see how I can make money flipping cars, they're going to be a little disappointed because the last one we did was in January, February. I think that's the other reason why I don't do work on the Ningy Nugget at the moment, because I don't know if I'll get enough to make something different or better content on the flip. I don't know what to do, so I leave it. So that's why I've just started filming the Saab stuff. Find a bike, fix it, flip it. That's the name of the game, but is that the name of the channel? Let me know what you think. Talk to me, reach out to me. I'm blabbing again like I usually do. I'm gonna wash up, clean up, and chill out for the rest of the afternoon. Hope you had a good weekend, and we'll catch you next time on Flip My Ride. Ciao.